You have probably heard that AOC wore a controversial dress to the Met Gala, on which was written, "Tax the rich." She also had a matching purse. And the pushback on both the left and the right kind of focused on hypocrisy, that she's, for the working class, but she's going to hobnob with all these rich people who oppress the working class, and that she's a hypocrite. You can argue about that if you want in the comment section. That's not really the focus of my video. I used to be an environmental reporter, so I never miss a good opportunity to talk about fashion and the environment. Especially this really teased me up because AOC has been such a vocal, she has been so vocal about the Green New Deal, right, which she proposed a while back. And fashion is not great for the environment, all right? It is often referred to as the second worst polluter next to oil. Now, I'm not really sure how that's quantified. I see that all over the place. I saw it all over the place when I was an environmental journalist. And I don't know if that's true or how you quantify that, but it is bad. Let's just say it's in the top handful, okay? And, for a variety of different reasons. Microplastics in the water, chemicals that go into the water resources used for it, emissions, not just greenhouse gas emissions, but chemical emissions, just waste in general. People throw out their clothes all of the time. And then you get into the human labor side of it. There's just a whole bunch of problems with the fashion industry. And it's often referred to as fast fashion. When you hear people talking about the fashion industry, separate from like Goodwill, okay? It's the idea that it's a brand new piece of clothing and that's it. It's like its end life cycle is just this one person and they get rid of it pretty quickly. And a lot of people get rid of their clothes very quickly. And this is why I decided to talk about this. Not really because I necessarily want to jump into the whole like, how could you have gone to this really expensive dinner and how could you have worn this really expensive dress argument. Like I said, I'll leave that up to the political pundits. My goal here is to just give those of you watching this whole hoopla another perspective that I think may be actually helpful in moving forward, understanding something different about this, and how if you care about natural resources, which I do, you can do better and perhaps do better than AOC, okay? So first, let me roll that video of myself shopping for an Emmy dress, my last regional Emmy award dinner. Patty and I are big into vintage clothing and recycled fashion, right, Patty? Right. And Patty's got the eye and I've got the cash. So Patty lent me a dress and I'm going to wear that instead. Ultimately, I could not find a dress that I really liked at all of the thrift stores that I went to, and so I just borrowed my friend Patty's dress. Often it's said that you have to wear something like 20 times before the resources that went into making it are utilized by, you're wearing it. So like the impact or the what goes into it is worth than what goes out of it. I don't know if that makes a whole lot of sense, but you kind of see what I'm saying. Everybody makes an impact on the environment by just living. We all do, but we can make a better impact on it. People like Joe Salatin, for instance. Joel Salatin's a rancher farmer in Virginia, very famous guy, and he obviously has an impact on the environment raising livestock, but he has a positive impact in the way that he raises his animals. Which brings me to AOC and, the like stop meat campaign and all that stuff. It's not really fair to paint with a broad brush farmers and ranchers who may actually be contributing a lot to the environment in the way that they do things, right? And also not just the way that they're raising animals, but then the impact it has on the health of the people eating it. So like the life cycle of the resource is worth the impact. Does that make sense? So that's kind of the point of my videos, to say, how can all of us be better focused on the life cycle of what we consume, and in this particular case, fashion. So my criticism here is the one-time dress thing. Like, I don't know if she's going to wear that 20 more times. If I was an environmental advocate, I would probably go to Goodwill, especially if I was an environmental advocate who was regularly talking about people who can't afford $1,000 dresses, then I would probably go to a thrift store near me, maybe not necessarily Goodwill, some other place, and I would buy something that's affordable and has been worn a few times, and then I'd wear it a few more times after that, and there you go. You don't have to pass a Green New Deal to do that. You can just go to your local thrift store. And if you're cheap like I am, it's a double whammy, right? You save money and you save natural resources that are used rapidly to support an industry where every 6 months or every 3 months, there's like a totally new outfit, right? That everybody's got to be wearing. And then we just throw everything out that we didn't like from 3 months ago. And that big picture, when it comes to the environment, I was often asked as a reporter, what's the number one thing I can do? And the answer I gave people was just, whatever it is you're consuming, make sure that, you're consuming it well, that you're not just like one night standing it. That like this shirt, okay, I'll show you a couple clips real fast of myself wearing this shirt on this channel, wherever you're watching this, whether it's one of my other platforms, which go to my other platforms if you want exclusive content, and you're still going to see the same outfits because I don't have very many clothes, and I buy most of what I wear at thrift stores because, again, I'm cheap and I like using my dollar to make an impact on something I love, which is our natural resources and the environment. So consume well. That's what I say. There's no way to live a life with no impact. We all have impact, but we can make sure that our impact is either reduced or even in, net positive. And I think that's the issue I have here is that, for me, I think if you wanted to set an example, you don't just write something that you believe in on a really expensive dress. Because like, what if she had written, stop eating meat or stop greenhouse gas emissions. And you're like, but wait a second, that the very dress is like a one-time use purpose. I don't know. Maybe I'll see her wear it again. Not sure. Now, I will say, I looked up the designer. Allegedly, the designer is a more eco-friendly, sustainably minded designer. And maybe that is the case. Uses products, resources that are more environmentally friendly. Maybe the processing is. I did read that about her. And so, maybe she does a better job than some of the more negatively impactful fashion designers. That still said, I think that, I think you could do more messaging better by going to a thrift store. And so that's where I'm going to leave all you guys. Let me know what you think. I just felt like this was an opportunity to talk to people about something that is really important to me. It's one of the easiest ways to make a difference, not just on your pocketbook, but on the planet. And there are a lot of these, big picture policy items that are thrown at us all the time, taxes and regulation and all this stuff. And I firmly believe in an individual's ability to make a difference. And I do think that there is a negative, very negative impact of the fashion industry on our waterways and in our landfills. And it's just an easy fix. You don't need a Green New Deal to change the fashion industry. The fashion industry would change if consumers changed. A lot of industries would change if consumers changed. And I don't know. So you guys want to borrow one of my outfits? Let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to check out my sponsors. I have a wine sponsor, AllisonWinePromo.com, AllisonWinePromo.com. They just switched out the bottles. So if you got the last 3, check out the new 3. There are some really good ones. One from the oldest vineyard in Argentina. You get 50% off the wine itself and 50% off shipping. Or you can also check out TwinEngineCoffee.com, TwinEngineCoffee.com/Allison. And these are Nicaraguan coffees, high altitude, shade grown, USDA organic. I prefer dark roast, but they've got a bunch of different kinds. They also have a tea that you can make out of the coffee fruits. It's called Cartura, I think I'm saying it correctly. You brew for about 24 hours. If you like cold brew or hot brew, you can do both. I really like it. And it tastes a little different, but kind of like tea. And it's just another way to get a little bit of caffeine, not as much as coffee, and the antioxidants that come with it. So AllisonWinePromo.com, TwinEngineCoffee.com/Allison, and I'll see you next time.